Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of Andrewsfootball.com. It's Wednesday and I'm breaking down the Detroit Lions. Now, if you're new to my channel, I break down a new NFL team before preseason starts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today's going to be the Detroit Lions. Friday, I'm breaking down the Buffalo Bills. So if you're a fan of NFL football, there's this awesome button right there. Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. Scientifically proven. My channel makes all your wildest dreams come true. Now, here's the drill. I break down what I like. I break down what I don't like. But stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to break it down the over-under versus Vegas. And if you should put action on the Detroit Lions this year. So let's break down what I like. And the first thing I like about the Detroit Lions is the direction of the team. Under Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, what they're doing is building a physical, tough team. Under Jim Caldwell, he wanted to build a team like they did in Indianapolis. Team was more fast, more athletic. When they had Peyton Manning, they threw the ball all over the place. Not really built on size, not really built on stuff in the run, not really physical. And these are all things that Matt Patricia values. They want a tough, physical, pound the rock type of team. I really love that. The old school in me really likes that. Second thing I like, and it kind of goes along with it, is drafting TJ Hockenson. What's Hockenson going to do? He's going to help you immediately, day one, run the ball, and he's going to block. And this is the direction that the team's going. I'm kind of merging these 2 points together. The Detroit Lions are now becoming a physical, tough, confusing team. And the reason why they're confusing is because TJ Hockenson's going to line up all over the place. He's going to line up as your standard tight end. He's going to line up in the backfield. They're going to split him out wide. You know, it'll be like, where's Waldo? This team's going to be a very confusing, difficult team to prepare for, because they're not lining up in a standard formation. And a matter of fact, if you go to our lads, which is the site I go to get the depth chart, it shows the Lions actually having a 4-3 defense. But if you go to ESPN and you go to their depth chart, they show the Lions having a 3-4 defense. What are they? Well, the answers are both. They don't really have a set-in-stone type of philosophy. They're very confusing. You know, they're not a team that's going to be very easy to figure out. I have just all opposite on the offensive side here in Kansas City, being a Chiefs fan. Under Andy Reid, you never know what they're going to do. They may line up and throw the ball 50 times a game. They may line up and have Patrick Mahomes run the option. You don't know. And the Lions are becoming the same type of team that's going to be very confusing. But the staple is that they're tough, they're physical, and they're going to run the ball. So I really, really like those two things. The third thing I like is the 2018 finish. How'd they finish? Well, they finished 2-2, but I'm not really looking at that. They gave up 44 points in their last 4 games. That's 11 points a game. The defense seemed to get much better as they adjusted to their new scheme, their new system. So I look at the Detroit Lions as a team on the rise simply based off of how well they did last year towards the end of the season. How a team does in 2019, a lot of times based on how they finished in 2018. Well, this team ended the year shutting out Green Bay in Lambeau Field. And another thing I like is that the last 3 games, 0 turnover. So when I look at the Detroit Lions, this is clearly a team on the rise. They went in a different direction. So obviously they weren't going to be as good because they've been working under Caldwell. And Patricia wants to do just the opposite of what Caldwell did in a lot of different areas. So of course the team wasn't going to be as good. Now, so what they are doing is that towards the end of the year, they got better. They moved in a different direction, and it started to show towards the end of the year. That's why I'm really high on the Lions. Fourth thing I like about the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford. And I also, if I'm sorry I didn't do this sooner here, I should give a shout out to my boy Luke G here. Luke G Field Review does a lot of Sports Lions talk. Here, my lips a little sweaty. I don't care. I'm hot in here. I'm talking about the Lions. I'm getting all excited. Doesn't matter. So, you know what? I'm hot and I'm drinking coffee. I don't care. Man, I drink a lot of coffee. I'm that type of guy. So Luke G. Field Review, I'm going to put a link in the description. Some great Lions content. We did a collaboration show. Luke, if you're watching this, I will have you on. Life's been chaotic, man. We'll have to talk sometime, and I'll explain my situation. I know you'll understand, but we're going to get together. We're going to talk some Lions. We're going to talk some Chiefs. It's going to be great, but when I was on his show, he asked me, one of the first things he asked before we did the show is, what do you think about Matthew Stafford? I was like, oh, man, this guy's a great quarterback. Before we got Mahomes, we would love to have Stafford. He's like, a lot of Detroit people aren't high on Stafford out here. I'm like, you're out of your mind, and you got to be kidding me. I thought he was. No, they're not. But let me tell you some things about Matthew Stafford. Let's just say you don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I think he is, okay? Let's say you don't. Here's the thing about Stafford. He started every single game since the start of 2011. Whether you like Stafford or whether you don't like Stafford, you can't argue that he's tough. You can't argue that he's durable. That is not a debatable fact. So let's say you don't like him. Is he tough? Is there another quarterback in the NFC North that you would want to bank on to start all 16 games for 2019? No. Arm talent, arm strength. They are two different things, and I'm not going to do a whole video breaking down the difference between talent and strength, but Stafford's arm strength and arm talent are clearly elite. All right, now I'm spoiled. I'm in Kansas City. I got Mahomes doing no-look passes. He can throw the ball 85 yards. Josh Allen for Buffalo reportedly can do the same thing. Aaron Rodgers, of course, has got those 60-yard touchdown bombs and everything, but let me ask you, is there more than 5 or 6 quarterbacks you say have got better arm than Stafford? Can you name more than 5? I just gave you 2. I don't even know if Rodgers, now keep in mind I think Rodgers is a better quarterback, but does Rodgers have a stronger arm? Is he gonna have much more arm strength and talent than Stafford? I don't know. So you have elite arm talent, elite arm strength. Even if you don't like Stafford, you gotta respect the power of the arm. And then here's another thing. Statistics. The last 4 seasons, 67.2, 65.3, 65.7, 66.1 has been his completion percentage. Last 4 seasons, completed 2/3 of his passes. So you got a guy who's tough, you got a guy who's durable, got a guy with a great arm, completes 2/3 of his passes. What more do you want? Not only that, this guy owns a 5,000-yard, 41 touchdown season. How many quarterbacks have that? There's not too many. I guarantee you that. Yeah, man, I'm sweating here. I'm getting amped up. So, and here's the thing. Between 2011 and 2012, over 10,000 passing yards. Google how many other quarterbacks had that. In a 3-year span, 14,655. So, even if you don't like Stafford, you have a guy who's tough. You got a guy who's durable. You got elite arm strength. And he has phenomenal statistics. NFL record-setting statistics that back him up. So even if you don't like Stafford, you got to agree that these 3 things are things that he has that are not debatable, and they're things that I like. I think he's an excellent quarterback. I think if you're not a fan of Stafford, maybe you're just jealous of the guy. A lot to be jealous of. He's a good guy. So to recap, I like the Lions' direction. I like how they're becoming a tough, physical, confusing team to prepare for. The one thing you got to prepare for is a tough physical battle, but how they line up, what they're going to do is going to be extremely confusing. I like the direction. I also like the way that they finished the end of the season, showing that they're on the right path. TJ Hockenson blends right in with that. You're drafting a guy who's going to line up all over the field, but more importantly, he's going to be a tough physical player. You also, despite only having 6 wins last year, you have an NFL franchise quarterback. If you don't agree with it, you got to agree that he's tough, durable, has elite arm strength, and has elite NFL statistics. So now, what I don't like about the Detroit Lions. I don't like the wide receiver core. I'm looking at Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, Kenny Galloway. These are all good receivers. These are all receivers I like, but these are all 2s and 3s. I actually think that if you're Stafford on 3rd and 7, who's the number 1 guy you're going to? actually think it might end up being TJ Hockenson. I think that might end up being your number one guy. I don't see a number one receiver here. Look at the other receivers in this division. You got Devontae Adams. Minnesota's got a pair of guys that are studs. Chicago has Allen Robinson, not really a stud, but I'm really high on Anthony Miller. Out of all the receivers in the NFC North, Detroit's clearly dead last. So that's one thing I don't like. Speaking of wide receivers in the NFC North, you got on your corners, you got Darius Slay. Who's your other one? I think ESPN has Rashawn Melvin. Our lads has Tease Tabor. Who's going to be your starting corner? You don't know. And then Slay's actually holding out a mini camp for more money. So here you're in a situation where you're in a division that has some really good receivers and you don't have really good corners. Yeah, I know they signed Justin Coleman, but he's not really a legitimate number one, or he's not even really a number two. He's a guy you're hoping you can put in a slot. But I think that they could have done a lot more this offseason in the corner position. I didn't like that. And third, and I say this a lot, especially the early on videos, but the NFC North is loaded. They're not in a good division here. The Bears won the division at 12-4. The Vikings has a defense that could be top 5. They're primed to make a playoff push. And then with Aaron Rodgers as Green Bay Packers quarterback, they're always really in contention to go to the playoffs and make the Super Bowl. But to be very clear, out of all the teams in the division, the Detroit Lions are the only one that you could clearly say that is better. The other 3 teams are question marks. You lose your defensive coordinator in Chicago. You're switching offenses and offensive coordinators in Minnesota. Green Bay's got a new head coach. They're keeping the defensive coordinator, but what are they going to do? I mean, their head coach, Mike McCarthy, he's been there for a long time. You're bringing in a brand new guy. There was that Aaron Rodgers article that he's supposedly extremely difficult to work with. So it's a first-year head coach working with a quarterback who's got a diva personality. Now, if you're a Packers fan, you're going to argue with me. You can. I'd hear your argument, but are you going to sit here and tell me that you're guaranteed to be better this year than you were last year? You can't do that. You got a brand new head coach and never been a head coach before. The Detroit Lions are the only team in the NFC North that you could clearly say are better, but the other 3 teams are all looking at this not being a good season if they don't make the playoffs. The Lions could be 8-8, 9-7, be on the outside of a wild card spot and say, hey, we're in the right direction, we're getting better. It's not playoffs or bust for the Detroit Lions. The other 3 teams, if they don't make the playoffs, they had a bad season. So to recap, what I don't like about the Detroit Lions, I don't like the wide receiver quarters. There's not a number one guy. Easily the worst receiving core in the division. If you want to argue Chicago, you could. But I think the Lions are clearly the worst division core. Number 2, not only is Slay holding out, you really don't have a legitimate number 2 corner. You have some problems in that secondary. That's not good in this division. And number 3, this division, it's loaded. It's tough. You have legitimately 3 teams that can make the playoffs, and then you have the Detroit Lions, who you're hoping makes the playoffs, but it's not playoffs or bust, where it is for the other 3 teams. So now what I say that hold on to the end of the video and get the advanced class? Well, should you bet on the Detroit Lions? The answer is yes. Now, of all the over-unders, the Detroit Lions are my number 1 team to put action on. However, the number's bad. Now, let me explain. The over-under is 6.5. I look at the Detroit Lions, and I clearly see a team that's better than last year's team, which went 6-10. All right? When I look at the Detroit Lions, let's say you're the Detroit Lions and you're thinking about putting action on, or let's say you're a Detroit Lions fan, you're wanting to put action on them, take the over. This is a no-brainer. Let's say they go 2-4 in the division. Realistically, I think they're going to go 3-3, maybe 4-2. That's unlikely. Let's just say 3-3, but for this exercise, 2-4. All right, I need 5 wins. Well, let's break down this schedule here. At the Cardinals, okay? Giants at home, at the Raiders, at the Redskins, Tampa Bay. I just got you 7. And that's going 2-4 in the division. Here's some other games. They get the Chargers week 2. You want to get the Chargers early. They get my Chiefs in between the Ravens and the Colts at Arrowhead. This could be a game the Detroit Lions steal from Kansas City. Is Kansas City a better team? Sure. This could be a team the Lions win. This is a trap game for the Chiefs. The Dallas Cowboys at home. That's don't laugh. That's a winnable game. The Cowboys are really weird that way. They don't play as well on the road. They really don't. The Denver Broncos on the road, that could be Drew Lock. Okay, Lock. My bad. All right, but the Broncos, they could be out of playoff contention. They may be starting a rookie quarterback. You don't want to do that against this defense. So in conclusion, here's another thing I want you to think about. A good game to bet on. This is something I'm going to put some action on. The Lions are a 1.5 point favorite at Arizona week 1. Strong action on this. I'm begging for some Kyler Murray preseason highlights, so the number will go up. I'm hoping it's a pick. It actually opened up as a pick 'em. Now it's 1.5. I'm hoping it drops down thanks to some Kyler Murray hype because Lions are going to win this game. So put some action out on Lions week 1. Another sneak bet is if you want to bet the Lions to make the playoffs. A $100 wager would win you $375. That's almost 4-1. It's 3.75 to 1. If you think like I do, the Lions are about an 8-9 win team and they get to the playoffs, a 4-1 investment's not a bad number. So it might be something I do. I'll keep you informed. So, hey, listen, if you're a subscriber to Andrews Football, you know you're one of the greatest people on planet Earth. All your wildest dreams are going to come true. I got some awesome playlists right here off to the side. Check this stuff out, but there's a subscribe button right here. Check us out. Look at it. See it. Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. Wait till Friday. I'm going to break down the Buffalo Bills. I'll see you Friday.